Hello and welcome to I Can Do Better, Sustainability Stories with me, Emma Jane Beatty. Today, I'm very pleased to tell you that I am with Tom Murphy, who is the Material Innovations Expert for Packamama, the climate-friendly packaging company that's responsible for creating the famous flat wine bottle. With a degree in chemistry and a first-class master's project in polymeric and dispersant chemistry, Tom brings his product development skills to Packamama, and I'm really pleased today to see how Tom brings that deep material understanding to be able to do better in his professional and personal life.
Hi, thanks for having me. Firstly, I'd like to say that while expert was very flattering, it's probably a bit of an overestimate, but we rely a lot on specific domain experts for a lot of areas, whether that's specific recyclability or sustainability areas or product development. So, but thank you for having me.
Well, in the times that I've interviewed you and asked for specialist quotes from you for packaging articles, you've certainly given expert information. So I say the cap fits. So, Tom, please, could you tell me a bit about how your further education covered the topic of sustainability and how you've then been able to use that information in your professional life?
Well, I remember I was visiting Durham. That's where I studied, I should say. I studied chemistry at Durham, and then did my master's in industry, looking at, like you said, polymeric and dispersant chemistry. And I remember visiting Durham for the first time, and I was given a reusable coffee cup branded with Durham University that allowed you to have discounts at the chemistry cafe. And so that was the kind of first introduction into sustainability at Durham and Durham chemistry. And that theme really ran throughout my degree. I mean, everything is chemistry. And to really understand how something works on a macro scale, in terms of sustainability, you have to look at it at a micro scale. And in chemistry, that is on a molecular scale. And whether that's implementing bio-based or sustainable materials into your chemistries, looking at, for example, electric batteries for EVs or solar panels and other sort of green chemistries. They were all very prominent throughout my degree. I also remember looking at defining specific metrics for waste processes, refining industrial processes. They're all very key into eliminating VOCs, for example. And those kind of skills and specialisms really provide me with a strong backbone to, and the translational skills into sustainability in packaging or everyday life, I would say, to be able to.
So did you choose packaging or did packaging choose you?
Well, I would say that I didn't choose necessarily packaging, but I chose sustainability. And that is what Packamama encompasses in terms of looking at sustainable wine packaging. It targets that key greenhouse gas hotspot in wine, which is glass packaging. The high temperatures needed to form glass and its heavy weight lead to a real impact on the wine industry. And so by Packamama choosing the right choice of material and its smart design to remove trucks off the road, it has a direct impact on the climate and the greenhouse gas savings of the wine industry.
Tom, can you tell me, I get the impression with the Packamama team, who I've spoken to quite a few times over the years, that people have a real opportunity to make a difference. It feels like you really can get involved in exciting projects. Is that true on a day-to-day basis? Is that what your work is like?
Packamama allows me, through my experience, to make a real difference, whether that's choosing the right choice of material, which is, in our case, recycled PT, or 100% recycled PT, for its lightweight, much less energy-intensive formation and also melting, for example. It allows us to have a real impact and greenhouse gas savings in the wine industry. This is particularly stark, I would say, when you look at our climate and our planet as it is right now. It's really hard not to, well, firstly to ignore, and then not to have any actions or impact in your everyday life, especially as a young person. When you see as well, with global wine production hitting a 60-year low, and the further impacts that the IPCC has raised as for example, impacting food scarcity and food quality through the rising temperatures on our planet and the subsequent climate disasters, it raises the question why we're still using 19th century packaging in a 21st century world in the wine industry. While glass packaging definitely has its place in wine for premium wines, when you're on the way home from the supermarket and picking up your bottle to drink that night, or other commercial wine markets, then it begs the question why we're using such a intensive greenhouse gas hotspotting wine packaging.
Do you think it's possible that the premium wine sector will embrace the flat RPET wine bottle too?
It's certainly something that we're looking into. The premium sector, whether that's looking at in-bottle aging, obviously, in-bottle aging will need a very good oxygen barrier permeability. And so we'd look how we could innovate in terms of materials for a better product for the premium industry.
Is that quite exciting as a challenge for you, with your expertise, to be able to kind of get into those particular material demands?
Yes, I think, throughout my whole degree and professional life, it's always been looking at the cutting edge industries of and research. And that's something I take into my current work, looking at communicating all the time with academia, for example, to find out what is the latest technology that we could hopefully implement into our bottle. And I think it's a challenge that needs meeting.
So how do you think sustainability will evolve throughout your career?
Well, I hope it revolves faster, as we've seen with the global surface temperature reaching 1.5 degrees, for example, already for a full year above pre-industrial levels. A temperature that's been outlined as key in like the Paris Accord, then we obviously need to do things faster. And I think that hopefully is supported by firmer and quicker legislation, for example. And I hope this will encourage you to move faster to a sustainable future in terms of packaging and other elements of life.
And how do you think the packaging industry can make sure it appeals to young graduates like you and your colleagues and the people who you've studied with, who are really needed to bring their expertise to the field of packaging? How can that be seen as a really kind of exciting and valid career choice?
I think it comes through, I would say, getting exciting innovations started in the packaging world, and I hope that's something that that people look as what Packamama is. We are very proud of our innovative designs and solution to wine packaging. So hopefully that's something that will engage. And across the sector, there's some great innovations also happening. So that's hopefully something that can engage graduates and other young people to take up a career in packaging.
Thank you. My final question to you, Tom, is to gain an insight, please, into how your professional expertise in sustainability enables you to do better in your professional and personal life.
Well, I would say it's about making the right choices on a daily basis. For example, I was just on a train down from Edinburgh, and I had a PET water bottle with me, and rather than putting it in the regular waste bin that they come around and collect, or that is on trains, it's about holding on to it and putting it in the recycling stream. I also, on the subject of trains, I do like as well the stats where it tells you how much carbon savings relative to driving it estimates. So I do like those kind of little stats that really encourage you in everyday life. That you're showing and making a sustainable difference. On a professional level, Packamama is very proud to be present in a lot of climate networks. For example, Sustainable Ventures is where we're based in London, which is one of the largest climate tech hubs in Europe, as well as Greenhouse and in Australia and 90 in the US. And we continually, other than the team, are always interacting with everyone in the workplace in terms of finding out how they're contributing to a sustainable climate. And we also attend like climate connections, for example, where you get to talk to other people in the industry. And I think it's on a professional level, though, in terms of packaging, it's sometimes not always obvious, even to me as a packaging professional, what is the best packaging. Sometimes it can be a bit confusing as to what is a more sustainable choice. And I think we as a team try to communicate as clearly and succinctly as possible what is our solution to the wine industry. And we like to support that with academically driven facts and other independent research.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate your time today and the kind of fresh insight you've brought to what sustainability means for individuals and for young people looking to make a difference. So thank you for bringing the voice of Packamama to I Can Do Better. Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you.